So why?
I want to know if he's getting any snow, because ain't nothing happening here yet in Philly.
All right, we're back on. We're
Nothing here.
good.
Well, it might get colder.
Great. I was trying to get away with use my redneck way of opening up wine before you went live again.
Too late. All right, so open topic, anything goes. And now everyone doesn't want to say anything.
I'm focused here.
I've got something. So we don't really have a gang culture like America does.
Nice.
But recently, because we accept quite a few refugees, there's been, in the city that I live in, there's been this one particular group of South Sudanese kids just doing stupid shit, smashing cars and stuff like that. Nothing like dealing drugs or killing people or anything like that. But our federal government has come out and said that we've got a gang problem like America. And I'm like, oh man, you haven't even watched anything on YouTube about American gangs, man. And it's just the propaganda that we keep getting fed, you know. It's and people are believing it.
I swear to God, the propaganda is what starts it all.
You know, it's
all about that mental war. You know, like they gotta control your mind, man.
The politician who's spreading it the most is an ex-police officer. So you know, it just doesn't. It just drives me nuts when they use propaganda to feed bullshit. Obviously, feed bullshit to the masses, and the masses believe them. You know, you get all the bogans and that on Facebook going, oh yeah, send them back from where they came and all this type of stuff. It's like, yeah, send them back to a war zone. That's the way to solve it. That's my rant.
My rant is, how do you get a cork out of a bottle? I lost my corkscrew.
If you can find a penny and some 48 proof alcohol.
Okay, I don't have that.
Okay. Oh well, you're screwed.
Do you have a regular screw? Would that work? Just put a screw in there and use some pliers and pull it out like that?
Let's see.
You can run
I
it.
did a lot of that today, taking my Christmas decorations off the front lawn.
Now, don't take my word for it, Rebel. I only have a bachelor's in redneck engineering.
Oh, thanks.
It might work. That's just my 2 cents.
Put the top over the stove and make the air inside expand and pop.
Oh, I don't think so.
Just smash it over some hard surface and
get a straw.
Yeah.
Why don't you look on YouTube? YouTube's full of handy tricks.
You know, Stevie was being so useful and sweet. I liked her idea.
See, that's why I always drink like cheap vodka. You know, you just gotta twist the top off, you know.
Happy birthday, Ermax. He's 53 today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Congratulations.
Ooh.
Doesn't matter if the cork doesn't survive.
That too.
You know, you can actually do the Australian bogan way, which is actually push the cork in.
Oh, that works.
I was going to say drill a hole and it takes the pressure out and you can pull it out.
All right.
Well, that's the last we're going to see of Rebel tonight.
Okay, I got drill bits. I have.
Now, before you get the drill bit out, after you drill the hole, what are you going to stick through the hole to pull it? Do you have a knitting needle? Do you have a knitting needle?
No.
Okay.
Just Screw the screw
I've got
in.
any Rebel. Do you have a wine opener?
You know what you do? Is you put a screw in there and then you get a claw hammer and use it like a.
Oh yeah, I got one of those too.
We'll figure this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You drill
We'll
a
get you
tiny
drunk
hole
tonight.
first.
Yeah, I meant to.
The
We'll get
screw
you
won't
extremely drunk tonight.
chew up the cork as it goes in. You have more ability to pull.
I'll put the ER in standby.
Just go into your fridge and just get a beer instead.
Have you seen the people that just cut the top off with a saber?
Oh, there you go.
I wouldn't do that.
Either.
Oops, missed my arm again.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't mix sabers with alcohol. Not a good combination.
Mm-mm.
Like, can you imagine just getting some of the glass, drinking some of the glass bits?
Oh, that would be tasty.
Yeah, just filter it through some cheesecloth there. It'll be all right.
We drink out of casks in Australia.
Out of
Yeah.
what?
Out of a cask.
Oh, a cat. Okay.
But basically what it is a cardboard box. I don't know if you have them in America or not, but they were invented in Australia, and it's for, you know how Steve for cheap vodka, it's for cheap wine, really
Oh,
cheap
box wine. Yeah.
Yeah, was invented in Australia.
Wow.
So
I got all the tools that I could possibly
here
find.
we go.
I don't know what you're doing with that hammer.
Well, I'm doing what?
Well, I'm glad my progressive DA got sworn in yesterday.
Nice.
Who's
Larry Krasner.
Oh, I found a YouTuber up in your neck of the woods, Shirley. Her name's Lisa
Who?
Hauserman.
Oh,
think-
yeah, that's my girl.
Oh, you know her? Oh my God, she's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love her, man. She's a card. And she's
Boy,
so
she's
bright.
in
She's so
upstate.
smart.
She's in upstate Pennsylvania. I'm in Philly. And she told me she'd never been to Philadelphia. I'm like, really?
Wow. I'd like to go up there and check it out sometime. That, like Washington, D.C., there's a couple places around here, and they're only like within a few hours driving distance. I'll have to head up there and hang out with you sometime, Shirley.
Boston, Massachusetts. That's where I want to go.
Oh, well, if you ever come here, you can visit me if I'm still here.
I want to go and watch the basketball.
The Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Hey, Eva, do you think you'll get all that snow y'all got a couple of years ago? Where it was still around in the summer?
2008, 2000. What year? 2010.
I'm trying to remember because it was a lot. It was a record.
I'll
Because
see.
they was telling somebody was trying to come out their window to get out, and they told them don't be coming outside on the street. And some of it was still there in the summertime.
I'll try and look it up.
But I'm not seeing nothing here yet. It's doing it over Jersey, and Jersey not far, but I don't see nothing here.
Was it last year? Or I mean, 3 years ago? Could have been.
Yeah.
I'll see if I got pictures, and I could see if.
I was
could
like,
show them.
wow, I feel sorry for them up there in Boston.
All right.
Jeez.
I'll look at some pictures, see if I have any. Usually they're my dog, and my dog's just kind of like the snow levels is just taller than my dog, and my dog's at least like 2.5 feet off the ground, like the head. So I'll see.
I've only seen snow once.
Wow, that's gonna be.
And I had to
neat.
drive. Oh well, when I was younger, we had to drive about 3.5 hours to go see the snow. and it was shit. I hated it.
I hate snow.
It's so pretty to look at, but then when you have to think about actually going out into it and driving in it, it's just no. I maybe a snow calendar. Like I'd be happy with that.
Snow globe.
Yeah, snow globe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
actually
funny
had
when
some.
It's funny when you go into like souvenir stores in Australia. It only really snows in one particular part, and everywhere else it doesn't snow. It just doesn't. It's not cold enough. And you see Melbourne in a snow globe, and you just think it just doesn't ever snow here.
I did it.
Yeah, well, you know, we don't have dingoes, so.
But you got wolves, and wolves are cooler.
Yeah.
We get
Wolves
more.
are heaps cooler.
We get more coyotes than wolves.
And you got bears.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've run into a few bears around here, like within close proximity. It is pretty terrifying to be that close to them, especially even if even the baby ones, like they are huge. I mean, you see them in pictures and stuff, but like when you see them in real life and they're like 20 feet away from you, even the baby ones can fuck your shit up, man. Like
everything in Australia can fuck your shit up.
Yeah, yeah. Australia is totally deadly.
It's probably why we've only got a population of 24 million.
Only the tough ones survive.
We have dingoes. The National Animal Disease Center uses them for control animals.
I'm going to share some pictures. Go ahead and keep talking.
We had a dog that was part dingo.
Wow, look at that.
That was just like the first day.
Oh, God, that looks
Oh, that's my daughter. And then it got to 33 inches in my backyard. I think there's a picture of like all the snow just shoveled. Wow. That fence is like 6-7 feet high. So that's just snow piled in on the backyard.
Yuck.
See, we don't even get snow that big.
Me neither.
All right, so that was it.
See, we used to get snow like that here in West Virginia. Like when I was growing up, we used to get like snow that was so deep, like several feet of snow. And now it just gets super cold, but no snow. I mean, like barely any snow over the past couple of years. I mean, it'll get damn cold, but just we don't get the snow like that anymore. It's weird.
There's also more. This is that was in 2015. This one's in 2013, which I'll show in a bit. There's a couple. Let's see.
I know it was a couple of years ago that because there's a mountain range between my state and the state above, and they're called the Blue Mountains, and that's where the snow, where it gets snowy, because it's really the only like high mountain range that drops below zero to sustain snow, and they actually have to bring in snow makers to actually create enough snow for skiers to come to their resorts and spend their money.
This is a neighbor's dog, or actually we were dog sitting for them. That was my dog right next to him, the bigger one, and you can see
they look like dingoes.
Yeah,
so cute.
They love playing in the snow.
That's freaking.
So one's a Ridgeback.
Yeah, the one I have was a Ridgeback. He passed away a couple months ago. So these are just some pictures.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
I took out in the street.
The Weather Channel had a story today that somewhere in a zoo they had to take the penguins inside because it was too cold.
My God.
I thought that was humorous.
So this is in 2013. Just my town that I live in. Just went out and took some random pictures of people walking around. As the local movie theater, all the newspaper boxes. That's yeah, just so people could walk from the street into a store. They shuffle that.
Wow.
I would have to have some dire, straight, whatever need to go walk out in that.
That's nuts.
It is.
We don't have any of that.
That would collapse Washington State's economy right there.
But people were having fun on it. They were making snowmen and all this other stuff. So that was in 2013.
What does your little one think about it?
She loves the snow. She doesn't like the cold though. Let's see.
Yeah, I think no, I couldn't live like that. No way, it's too cold.
All right, I guess that's most of it. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I like going out and taking pictures right after a big snowstorm.
It very rarely during the day does it drop below 0 or drop below 32 here. Very rarely.
Does it look that cold to you where you are, Stevie?
It actually just warmed up to about 30 degrees today, and that's why my pipes burst. So,
yeah. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh, your pipes burst.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look like a hot mess the next couple of days on here, but I should have it fixed here soon.
Metal or PVC?
Metal.
Oh.
I'm running my water to stop that from happening.
I had it dripping, but I guess I didn't have it going, enough because it totally froze over. And I found some heating tape and I wrapped, the pipes up on the other side of the basement and all this. And, but I didn't get underneath the house and do that part. And that's where it burst. And yeah. I had to go and dig for an hour in frozen ground to get to the main water line, shut it off. The whole time I'm like, the thought of the water bill was like driving my panic to dig it up. But yeah, I got it. I'll get it fixed soon. No big deal.
Well, this is a record because it has never been cold this long. It's been 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about here on Monday, Monday and Tuesday, we're going to be in the 40s.
I don't mind it. I go ice fishing, so I get frostbite. It's fine.
You better be careful with that, Ebon.
I know.
Yeah, because you could
catch gangrene.
Die on us, and then we
don't make it any easier on the Clintons, Ebon. So don't need a ice fishing accident.
I'm trying to sell 3 ice fishing huts and an auger and some ice fishing. It's like an ice fishing sonar.
Oh yeah. Hey, send it my way, Snark. I'll buy it from you.
I got to find out if it's garbage or not then.
Oh.
I sold one for $350.
Yeah, those fish finders can be pretty cool. Or a lot of people like them, especially some of the older ones. They don't sell around, so if you have older ones, some people just like the older fishermen. They just prefer the older models because some of the newer models just don't work or aren't as higher quality.
My father kept forgetting he was buying them, and he, like I said, he bought 3 fishing huts, 2 ice auger. An ice auger looks like a drill bit, except it's like 8 inches in diameter and about 4 feet long, and it's got like a motorcycle on top of it. Started like a lawnmower.
Oh, you've got the electric ones or the
No, it was not
motorized?
electric. It was like a 50 cc motorcycle engine on top of it. I don't see how you could stand on the ice and not have it just spin you
Did you call
around.
me?
Was that? Someone said something.
Yeah, I thought I heard something too.
The ghost.
But yeah, I had I was getting rid of all the ice fishing gear, and I'll save one for you. I haven't even gone through what's in the garage. This was just the ones that are in the basement so far. But as far as I know, since they haven't been used for 18 years, he's had Alzheimer's for a long time. That I don't know what shape they're in, if the batteries can be recharged, if they've discharged and destroyed the circuitry or anything.
Yeah. 18 years, holy smokes. You might be able to sell them like an antique store and make a good buck.
Yeah, I don't know. I have one guy that I promised he could come over and take a look at them tomorrow.
I mean, if they're 18-year-old electronics parts, they're probably going to be pretty easy to replace the components in them. I mean, because they're going to be kind of big. So, Rebel, Amanda, are you still trying to open that wine bottle?
No, I already got it.
Okay.
I just put my tools away. See?
All right, I gotta go.
How'd you do it? What was the? We'll have to remember this for future reference.
Well, part of the way worked because of what Ryan said, and then I eventually had to use the pliers and pulling on the tugging with the claw hammer. So I had pliers in one hand. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing looks like a monstrosity, Snork.
Like I said, I don't see how it doesn't just spin you around on the ice.
Oh, you know what I would love? Get those like wind blowers or something and have ice skates on the ice and just let it blow air and you just kind of just or have like a sail that you have and you just put the blower on the sail that you have. Just see how fast you can go. Probably not very safe, but might be fun.
This is a solar heated greenhouse. Or I mean, it says greenhouse, but it's where the ice fishermen
ice shelter
huddle inside of here, and it's keeps them warmer. You really don't want to be on the ice when it's above zero. But anyway, this is still in the box.
Wow.
And I got somebody coming over to look at that tomorrow. But that Jiffy ice auger, it's huge. the drill bit is like I think it's at least 8 inches in diameter.
1 second.
This thing right here is a drill bit.
Shirley, you've got some static coming from your end.
I do. I don't hear it.
Oh, I hear it. Does anyone else hear it?
Mm-hmm. And plus her box lights up.
What's going on with my phone?
Yeah, I had some of these. And like I said, I don't know if the other two in the garage still work. But they're not cheap.
Yeah. I mean, those are one of the most expensive things for ice fishermen. I don't use them just because I know where the fish are at. But they're really useful if you don't know where the fish are at. Because that's the only way to find them.
See them?
Huh?
Do you actually get to see them like swimming around with that or what?
No, you just see blips of light.
It's like sonar for fish.
Yeah.
It'll tell you what the temperature is, so you can say, "Oh, I would like to get a walleye. I have to do that at this temperature is where they eat." So you drop your line down just that far.
Oh, that's a super cheater.
Oh yeah. There's one place I was had to go to. They made lures that glow in the dark, so that the fish attack them. Half the states in the United States don't allow that, using lit lures.
Huh. Well, I think you can use them in mass. I never seen any law against it. Yeah. I'll probably, because I ordered like a Mr. Buddy heater plus like a 20-gallon propane tank and a big 8-person tent. So when I go out fishing with a whole bunch of people, ice fishing with a bunch of people, I'll take pictures and videos. So
I've got one ice house that has a boat underneath it. So if the ice breaks, you can still float back. I'm going to take that outside this weekend. Tomorrow's supposed to be really cold again. So as soon as it warms up, I'm going to take that one outside and take pictures of it. Make sure it still works.
Are you going to test it?
Well, I'm just going to take it in the driveway.
Okay.
I'm sure my neighbors are going to think I'm nuts too.
Yeah. The good thing about freshwater ice fishing is at least the water won't be below freezing, colder than the ice. Because in salt water, you can actually, like in Antarctica, the salt water doesn't freeze, so you can actually be swimming in water that's colder than the ice, just because all the salt doesn't make it freeze over.
Well, ice does go below 32 degrees. It's just the point where it freezes. But ice in your freezer, if you have ice cubes, and your freezer's 0 and those cubes have been in there all night, those ice cubes are going to be 0 too. When it's outside and you have snow and ice on the ground and it's 25 degrees below 0 outside, that's the temperature of your ice. It is bad.
Yeah.
It's painful fast. Oops.
Oh, that's Yankee. Wow, that's pretty.
Oh my God.
Is that iced over or is that just calm water?
That's the river that runs through the city, and it's called the Yarra River, and it never freezes over.
You can show it a little longer.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That was too pretty.
And there's other photos there.
Those are views we don't normally get of Australia.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Hang on, just let me see.
The Opera House, the bridge, a beach, or the desert.
Let's see.
It's like the rest of the country doesn't exist.
I'll show you the trains, like the major train station in our state. It's called Flinders Street Station. It's named after Matthew Flinders, which is some dude. Hang on, just let me get rid of this. Close that. This is Melbourne, so that and that. There you go. And that's one of the old trams that goes around the city that you can catch for free. But there's a huge tram network within Melbourne. So, but this one's like one of the original trams that goes just circles the city.
Building.
Yeah. So that's like the major intersection. So that's Flinders Street Station.
I love all the work in the windows, and I mean, that's artistic.
But he said it's a free tram.
It's a free tram.
Imagine that. It's not just public transportation. It's free public transportation.
Yeah. Goes around.
Awesome.
And then there's like, I'll show you another view of the city. So I'll close this down. Close that down.
I guess it's a picture sharing night.
Yeah. Tell me to stop whenever.
No, it's cool. I like it. I'm gonna try to find some cool pictures too if I can.
I get to go traveling with all of you guys.
So that's in about spring-ish, just the beginning of spring, because the trees don't have any leaves on them really. So
Look at the calm little ripple of the river.
yeah, that's the Yarra River. And one of the buildings there I used to work in, if you can see, there's the one on the far right of the tall buildings, and then there's one that's next to it. One next to it I used to work in. And if you look at it really, really closely, there's like a split in the levels. So if you go a little over halfway, there's like a dark bit. I used to work in there as a chef.
Oh, wow. And what are the curly things on top of those buildings to the left?
Their antenna.
For what?
Mobile phone. Cell phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. The one in the back, I think, was the tallest building in the country, but it's not anymore. It's been overtaken now. But yeah, that's a look. If you look at it, it's looking west. So at the city.
Can you go swimming in that river?
You can, but I wouldn't.
Do you know if you have the European style cell phones or do you have American style cell phones?
I don't know what the difference is.
The way they communicate, we do not have as good a cell phone service as the Europeans.
We use 4G, if that's good. I don't know. I really don't know anything about the telecommunications side of it.
Maybe they're the same now. We have 4G here now too. It used to be we couldn't use our phones when we were in Europe. You had to use a European phone.
Yeah.
Oh no, you can use our phones worldwide. You always have been able to use them, like in Europe and stuff. But
if you guys were on 4G, the newest standard is 5G, and I think that probably means you've got 5G coming in, and we're probably compatible now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my brother is about to head to Toronto at the moment. So, and they're going to New York first. So, I'll show you a picture. Oh, it's not a very good photo. Lit up. There we go. Show you the city lit up from the same view that I had before.
Looks like a nicer river walk than San Antonio, Texas.
It's polluted. Like Stevie was saying yesterday, like with septic tanks and stuff, as soon as it rains, that's the city at night.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh my God.
See the cathedral on the left there, and then there's like a little dome bit on the far left, and it's a yellow building. That's the train station. So this is like on the other side of the river to the train station, looking back northwest-ish, northeast-ish, northwest-ish. I don't know. We don't do directions here. So, and then that building on the far. See where if you look at the building in the middle with the tower, and then you look right, and there's a white sign. That's a bank sign, and then faintly it says Sofitel at the top of the building in yellow. That's the building I used to work in.
Man, even your cell towers look more beautiful.
Yeah, they have to.
Where do the homeless people live?
The street.
No, is there a lot of homeless there?
Yes.
Oh, is that right?
I worked in the city in around 2004-ish, 2003, 2004, and there was no homeless anywhere, nothing. And I didn't go into the city for about 10 years because I had no need to go into the city. And when I did go into the city, there was homeless people everywhere on the main streets, along Flinders Street Station. They're not allowed to go into the station, but they all sleep alongside it. Yeah, it's horrible because right across, like diagonally across from Flinders Street Station, is the eldest cathedral in Victoria. So a lot of people sleep there as well. But I mean, it doesn't get to like people freeze to death. People don't freeze to death, but people do get hypothermia because of the cold. But they've just started works on the station. They want to clean it and all that type of stuff. It hasn't been cleaned in like 100 years, so they're doing a whole heap of work to it. But they've made the police come in and force the homeless people out, and the police here are similar to the police in America. They don't like you saying no. They get really physical. So, yeah, it's a horrible situation. The city council just passed a bill that there were to be no homeless people in the city square, which is like the city square is not just like a little square; it's like the whole city. And it's forced the homeless out to a suburb, just out of the city, and then you go to that suburb now, and it's just like homeless people everywhere, absolutely everywhere. It's horrible. So instead of fixing the problem, they're just passing it on to somebody else.
Yeah.
That's sad.
And it drives me nuts. It really does. It just does my head in. And it's not like there's no space in the city for homeless people to go. There's empty spaces everywhere. And I mean, even for to convert empty space into some sort of homeless shelter is better than what they have now, just forcing people out of the city. So,
All right, I'm gonna get off of depressing topic.
that's cool.
All right, so I guess I'll share my Yellowstone, my trip in 2011. If no one's ever gone, it's definitely worth it. That's my wife, then girlfriend. This is while we're driving towards Yellowstone. That's it's a car hinge, I think. It's a Stonehenge made out of cars. I guess it was just something. And then while you're driving through, you see some pretty cool views. This is on the car. Some pretty cool small lakes and ponds and plateaus. This isn't even in Yellowstone yet. This is just kind of driving by. You start seeing some mountains and some mountain ranges as you're driving. I forget which mountain range that is specifically, but it's like when you're in Yellowstone, I think there's only like one or 2 months of the year where there's no snow. So otherwise it's just snow everywhere all the time. You get to see bison and all these really hot geysers or whatever you call them. It stinks. It smells like rotten eggs because of the sulfur. And the bison there, they get real close. Like we were in our cars and they're just like right outside the cars. You can't, you pretty much have to wait for them just to move to the other side that they want to go. Just a lot of bubbling, very clear water that you can see, even though it's kind of whatever. There's a lot of little chipmunks, hawks, eagle. I wish I had better camera back then, but I just took whatever I could with whatever camera I had. well, one of the cool things with the coyotes is you'll see them. Maybe they're foxes, but they have these really cool ears, and they listen under the ground, and they'll jump up and just dive into the ground where the hole is to get the mouse. And they come up kind of close to people too. And you also have to be wary about like bears, some of the brown bears there, especially with their cubs. There's been a lot of attacks in the past. But just like when this is outside of Yellowstone. I mean, no, wait, this is still Yellowstone. And just crazy rivers and waterfalls is just pretty amazing to just be there and look at. It's just so huge. And then you get to see a whole bunch of history, like historical pictures of people visiting Yellowstone back in like the 1900s, early 1900s, maybe even the late 1800s, and just how they went up the mountains and traversed through the canyons. It's pretty cool. It's cold, so just know that it's gonna be cold when you visit. Just a lot of different color. These pictures don't do justice to the different types of color that you end up seeing. This is I think this is now in Montana. Driving through Montana, you just see some very cool rivers, and just kind of softer rolling hills, mountains. And then we kind of went inside this underground cavern. And so they have all these places you walk through and all the stalactites and maybe a few stalagmites. It'd be crazy to just kind of get lost in there. That'd be a scary thing. There's at one point where they don't put any lights on just so you can see how dark it gets. And it's just crazy dark. The best, so I think the drive to and out of Yellowstone was probably just as cool as just being in Yellowstone. But there's just a lot of cool things. They have a lot of underground caverns in Virginia too, so you don't have to be in the Northwest to see them. They're probably all over the place. But I just thought it was kind of cool. Anyways, that's it.
Well, I went for a walk a while ago. I don't often go for walks now. I was helping my brother. He was doing a 100-kilometer walk, which is about 62 miles. And this is, hang on, just let me close this down and then open. Close that too. And this is what I came across. Where are we? Yeah. That.
Ah.
That's what I came across when I was on my walk. And I had, there was a group of them. So, and then there's this one here too, which I love this bird. It's a kookaburra.
Yeah. It's a fluffy bird.
It eats snakes.
Wow.
It literally eats snakes. So that's how we curve our snake problem. So who else has seen the Dave Chappelle comedy special that he did on Netflix?
I haven't checked it out yet.
Oh man, it was funny. It's kind of edgy. He did what George Carlin does, is try to find people's boundaries and deliberately cross it, type of thing.
Although I did see the comment he made about the poor whites, and it's just like, I'm like, oh, is this going to be one of those things where I'm going to like get all fired up? But I kind of have to agree with him. It's kind of, it's kind of a hard, barrier to cross when it's just like you see like these people and it's like you feel for them, but at the same time, you're just kind of like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I know that struggle.
I know. I just like when he said along the lines of when he used the southern accent where Donald Trump's gonna fight for us, and he made joke of it. I was sort of like, well, he's right, Donald Trump's not gonna fight for you.
Let's see.
If any of those guys saw that, but that really triggered the shit out of them.
Oh, didn't it? It sure did. Sure did.
Sorry, I'm trying to do something right now. There's so many pictures, and I don't take many pictures, it seems like. I don't know. Let's see. It sucks. All the cool places that I went to and visited, like Hawaii, South Africa, like I didn't have very good camera, so they're just kind of poor quality. But that, back then it's like I never went to places like that, so I was just happy to be there. It's like I didn't care about all the pictures; I was just soaking it in with my eyes. So I think it's almost better that way. Sometimes I feel like I spend more time just trying to get a good picture that I just don't enjoy the moment. And that can also be a problem with like just our phones. We want our selfies, we want our pictures, group pictures. Is like just kind of soak it in and just enjoy it while you're there. The only problem also is like your memory tends to like forget. So if you don't have the pictures, you just kind of forget all the cool moments that you kind of remember. Like all the pictures just kind of jog your memory of all the other cool stuff that you saw that you might not have taken pictures. So it's, one of those things where you need a balance, I guess. Take some pictures, but also enjoy, what you're there for.
Mm-hmm. I have the worst memory. I'm really bad at names. That's why I don't think I could ever go and do like a Graham Elwood show or anything like that, because I just can't drop names and stuff. It's horrible.
So what's like the coolest places that y'all visited?
Well, my favorite is Hawaii. I loved Hawaii.
I stayed in a hotel that was directly under the Sydney Harbour Bridge, looking at the Sydney Opera House.
The Mayan area of Mexico is pretty cool. Costa Rica, we went from the west coast to the east coast of the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean side. South Africa, from just the Cape, that was back in 2000, the last World Cup, so 2014, I think it was. Ever since we had a kid, we haven't really been anywhere. But so if anyone's not married or doesn't have a kid yet, definitely go on a few vacations before you do. I don't know. There's still
kids are money suck, man. They're the money and time suck. I love them, but it's the trade-off.
Be nice.
I'm not having any kids, so
I liked Hawaii, but I thought it was really fun getting to go to the secret parts of Lego headquarters.
Huh.
nice.
Everybody had desks made out of Lego Duplos. So they were all made their own desks, and I thought that was so cool. And all of them had just like tons of models everywhere, and they were the guys that designed the molds and the stuff for the new toys. And but Hawaii is breathtaking.
It is.
Oh, I know. I've been to the Whitsundays, which is where the Great Barrier Reef is.
Ah,
That is awesome. That place is great.
I think the longest solo trip I'd ever done was when I was in the military. I drove from Pensacola, Florida, all the way to Bremerton, Washington. I drove through the South, into Texas, up through New Mexico and Colorado, Utah, through Northeast Oregon and into Washington. But like, I didn't think the South was that great. I think it was kind of interesting driving through New Orleans. Once you hit like the corners of Colorado, you just see the canyons, and that's just amazing. Utah, when you're driving through there, just the color, the sand, the reds, just the sunsets. Oh man, that's pretty. Because that's where like I think the red rocks and whatnot or something like that. And then Northeast Oregon of all places was really beautiful because think of just the roundest, smoothest hills just everywhere and just different colors of green, brown, yellow, and orange is just amazing. I want to drive back through Northeast Oregon just to see all those rolling hills. And then other drive-throughs, like I've driven through Idaho. There's some crazy like forests and huge lakes, just lakes everywhere. I thought were really, really awesome. I mean, there's some crazy cool areas just in the U.S. If you just have to drive, they're not like in your typical tourist spots. You have to just drive through and just soak it all in. It's just awesome. But we get this whole drudgery, our daily lives are pretty much work, wake up, work, wake up, work. So I don't know.
I went to New York City, and that was pretty cool. I got to see buildings that were more than like 7 floors tall, so it was kind of blew my mind. I was like, I just felt so tiny with all the people and all the buildings. It's definitely one of my favorite places I've been to. I don't know. I haven't really been to too many places. At least nothing really that cool. I went to Virginia Beach. Been to Ohio. Chicago. I went to Chicago, and that was interesting. It wasn't really like my kind of thing, but it was cool. Yeah. Wow. I need to travel some more. Yeah. Trying to think of some question, y'all. See where I should go. Where's a good place to check out if I ever get to travel one day.
Come to Victoria and you can have a look at this. Ready? Hang on. Let me just bring it up. And drive down that.
That's pretty cool.
That's so pretty.
And then there's another view. Hang on. I don't know how this works properly, so excuse my amateurish picture sharing.
Oh, Georgia. That was the other one. I went to Atlanta, Georgia.
I've never been to Atlanta. I heard good things.
Wow, that's so pretty.
So what happens is the ocean beats against the rock and erodes the rock. And instead of putting the road further up the hill, they just built the road around on a platform, on a bridge, to meet up with the other. So this is before the other, and it used to have a thing called the 12 Apostles. So it used to have like 12 big rocks standing up out of it, but I think it's down to 7 now. So, but yeah, no, you go for a drive down there on a motorbike or a car or whatever, and yeah, it's really nice. But definitely come to Victoria.
All right, I'm gonna have to log off of here because I got a shit ton of Chris Hedges books today, and I'm super excited about reading them. And I'm not even sure which one. I started one. I'm already like, just a few pages into it. It's only like 160 pages, so I think those are going to be like my next videos. Going to do some book reviews on those and kind of talk about it. And yeah, so I'm gonna get started on that. My little one's asleep, so this is like the perfect time to start reading. So I'll talk to y'all tomorrow whenever we do this again.
Awesome.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. See you.
All right. Have fun.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm trying to do some work on the side right here.
I suppose I should do some work for a while.
Oh,
I'm
by
gonna.
the I'll send you the person that might be able to sail around. That my boss's son-in-law that has a boat that they live in.
Yeah.
I'll send you his email tomorrow.
I have some contacts in some of the island groups. If he really wants to go to the remote island groups,
They have a small boat right now. I think they just travel around the Caribbean, so I don't know if they'll be like out in the middle of nowhere Pacific. At least not yet.
The only one I've talked to in the Caribbean is a little island just north of South America. I can't remember. It starts with a T. Trinidad.
Trinidad. Okay. I'm sure they might do that. I think they're both scuba certified, so that would also help. How deep does the apparatus have to be?
Well, it depends on the temperature. So you can go online and you can get a depth map of the planet. You know how cold the water is in different areas.
Okay.
So you want to be below 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay. Oh, that could be 66 feet to atmospheric pressure.
Well, not the pressure, but the temperature.
Temperature. The temperature. Well, then that could be a problem too. Like in the.
It's going to depend on the color of clarity of the water. If it's really clear water, the color of the floor. It will depend on, and the Caribbean is warm.
Yeah.
Relatively warm. So, I don't have off the top of my head what temperatures are where. And usually the deeper the water, the better. So like, Bahamas, I don't even know or the, what do you call those ones? The Florida Keys, where people can walk to a bar out in the Florida Keys out in the ocean, 4 miles out in the ocean. No chance. All right. Well, I suppose I better get something done. I got too much cat hair in my nose.
I'm going to close it down too.
All right.
I'll see you later.
Might be a good time to close it down. All
Night,
right,
everybody.
see you guys tomorrow night or on Friday.
Yep. Catch us later.
All right, see you.